The typical image of Mexican women living in the United States is that they make good domestics. They cook, they clean, and they take good care of the household. They take care of the jobs around the house. They take care of the children and all of their needs. These women prepare the meals in the household for their children and husband. Some Mexican women also have a second shift and work as service workers. These are just some of the stereotypical roles of Mexican women in the United States. They are based on the historic hierarchy of gender roles of our society. The characteristics of employment and education restrict at some level the participation of Mexican women as a minority group in the social institution. The roles available to women of color in general are those that are reinforced by their patriarchally defined status. Perhaps the status of woman can be an explanation for the mass killings in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. Many men and women have been murdered in the city of Juarez, although women are being killed at a much higher rate than men. There has been more than 300 women brutally murdered in the Ciudad Juarez, particularly in the young population, and over 100 of these murders have involved sexual violence and victims being raped, tortured, and sometimes mutilated. This has been a major concern and an indication of some type of conspiracy targeting a group of women in Ciudad Juarez. The Ciudad Juarez government attempted action to seek justice against the perpetrators has been unsuccessful. The Mexican government has not been able to keep up due to missing reports and inadequate investigations and documentation. Only 2/3 of cases have been solved. An endless amount of cases still remain unsolved by the Mexican system, and on top of that, there's corruption that infects the atmosphere of Juarez. The mass killings of the women in Ciudad Juarez express oppression of gender and manifest inequality of gender relations. It is a form of violation towards the rights of women. Some factors that may have contributed to the mass killings of women and the patriarchal backlash include the lack of opportunities available for men and women to work and a competition that arises for economic resources. Although mothers of the victims have not obtained justice for their daughters, they are seeking for help, and civil society activism is leading toward deeper democracy and a more genuine rule of law on the border. Mothers of the murdered daughters began to organize in the 1990s, and their efforts have inspired many human rights and feminist activists, as well as some ordinary citizens, to raise awareness about violence against women and about public insecurity generally. The situation in Ciudad Juarez has alerted the women of the manifestations of the nation toward them. Presently, feminist organizations in Ciudad Juarez, such as Casa Amiga, are trying to create local globalization by working on restoring a sense of empowerment and humanization of women.